confirm that, Queen Mother, you have the...
We're live streaming.
All right, no, that's fine. All right. Good evening again for this part. What we are covering now on our agenda is the Environmental Day of Environmental Awareness, tree planting ceremonies and events that took place was it 2 weeks ago? Please help me there, Professor Lloyd. On
Sunday. Yes, yes, Sunday, the 5th.
Yes, on Sunday the 5th. We have, as UnityNet International and UnityNet African Diaspora, participated in different events and ceremonies to mark the tree of planting, but our emphasis was the tree of peace and reconciliation. At least about 10 African countries participated in the ceremony and in the planting of various trees, and a form was sent out for people to respond and give input. As we are still collating more information from the countries that have actually participated. Unfortunately, not everyone has responded, but what I will do is I will give, as part of the ICT team, I will give a summary of the respondents that we have so far. Okay, UNET tree planting event data. What we have so far, we have 7 responses. And one of the main questions that were asked was the challenges. What challenges did people face, and what type of support do they need for better tree of peace and reconciliation ceremony and events to take place, for them to do it at a better level going forward? There are various responses, but the one I would like to, the 2 that I'd like to point out was that people feel that we need to start building relationships with faith-based organizations in order to use their premises, because their premises are both private and also are accessible to the public. And also there's an issue of funds that a lot of organizations that participate do not necessarily have funds for the seats, and also whatever equipments that might be needed for the necessary equipments. There's obviously the issue of the, but we'll touch on that, there's an issue of the GPS coordinates, and that maybe some technical expertise need to be shared around that one. But those are the 2 main ones that came out. And then additional remarks was that as UNET and Unity International, we need to do more planning in terms of how we approach it at a local level, and also how we link up with some of the global events that take place on that day, so that we're able to participate in both areas. Okay. And then the other question was, name the organizations that participated. We do have currently Center for Muslim Youth in Peace Development that participated. We've got Towards and Kids NPC that participated in South Africa, Soweto CSI Council. We have the Guinea chapter also participated. We've got Women Advancement Campaign in Sierra Leone that participated with Pastor Fatmata as the leader there. And we have Communities Expertise for Development Contribution, CEDC, that participated. Jafowa in Uganda participated. The Great Lakes Development Relief Services also participated in Kambuda. Mr. Damas Kambuda was the one leading the process. And we asked whether people followed the theme of peace and reconciliation or they chose their own theme. Ghana used the theme of 20 million trees for the day. Tots and Kids used in South Africa used community reconciling and committing to a better future for all as a theme. Others, they used unity, peace and reconciliation. And another organization chose integration of youth and the elderly. And in that case, that is definitely Jafowa. But the theme of peace and reconciliation was carried the most across. How many trees were planted? On average, what we have mainly 1-2 trees that were planted, but we have other countries, one country that planted 10 trees. And then we also have a few countries, which is part of the major campaign, also planted about 15 trees. We also asked whether they were planted on the World Environment Day. 77% of the trees were planted on the World Environment Day, and only 22% were planted on a different day. Okay, and just to state the countries again, Sierra Leone participated, Ghana, or participated and submitted. Ghana, Guinea, South Africa, Sierra Leone submitted twice, South Africa, Tanzania, and Uganda. Okay, and we also asked about the province. I won't touch on that to save on time. Those are basically the provinces in the specific countries. The type of trees, we have a yucca, fig tree, jackfruit, mango, guava, avocado, passion fruit. We've got, as I said, mangoes, oranges, and jamun. What we have is we have the Persian American avocado, and we have parachichi and passion, and we also have a cashew tree that has been planted. And yes, 77%, almost 80% of the, 78% of the trees planted were fruit trees. And I've stated what those were. And the great thing about that is that 66% of that fruit, we asked whether will this be food, the food trees, will they be distributed to community, or will they be for sale or for private consumption? And the great thing is that 100% say they will be for community consumption, even if 33% of them were planted on private property, 33% on public property, but they'll all be available for community consumption. And in terms of who's responsible for the upkeep of the tree, 55% is community, 33% of the respondents says it's the organization, and I guess where it's been planted on private property, it's 11%, it will be individuals. We have another section of, okay, we do have in some areas where people provided the GPS coordinates, and in some areas we've got the specific addresses. It is actually quite good to see all the GPS coordinates. And then the question that we asked was, are you an active member of UnityNet Africa, or are you an active member also of UnityNet International? And the great thing is 100% of all the respondents are active participants of UnityNet, of UNED and Uni. And we had asked people to still submit pictures, and we do have attachment of pictures of, we only asked about 2 or 3 pictures of the tree planting ceremony. So that is the report as it stands, and I believe currently we're still sitting at 50% of what we expect, but at least we are making progress, and we'll keep following up on everyone else who has not submitted. Thank you. Yes, we will follow up on everyone else directly. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Juliet, for this professional and wonderful presentation about the World Environmental Day, the trees of peace and reconciliation planted, especially in Africa, and that the database format you developed as a system for us to have a record of what we are doing in Africa as UnityNet, Africa and Diaspora. This is really, really wonderful. And for me, this is showing us that we have what it takes, and we're putting our record straight in order to ensure that we face funding partners. And now we have something to showcase to partners that, yes, on our own, we have started something. So can you come and support us so that we move this process? So this is unique. Thank you. You and your team, you have done well and continue to do well. But I have maybe one or two comments on the form. One is there are two locations, the trees of peace and reconciliation planted in Sierra Leone, one in Cambia district and the other one is in Bo. I only heard the one in Bo by Pastor Fatmata Akam. And so the one for, can you please, when you go back, you check for the one implemented in Cambia district, because they planted, we planted 10 trees there. Most of the trees planted in Sierra Leone came from that one. And so then the other one is about the form. There is an area you said of the coordinate, and then also address where the trees are planted, or GPS coordinates of where. I want to suggest in this area, maybe next time you separate the coordinates recording from the address. I know it should be together, or maybe if you have maybe a subset way to do it, because you'll be able to get the appropriate records for the coordinates. So that is one, because especially for those who planted so many trees, it's going to be a serious problem for them.
All right.
Just a note, on Sunday, June the 5th,
yes,
Patrick
for
Samuel Ola, he also planted a tree in Kenya at the same time we were doing it in Canada. Just a note.
All right.
All right. Yes, sir. Yeah. So, so the issue of attachment, we found it somewhat difficult to attach the pictures. It keeps rejecting. But maybe sometimes
Dr. Carlos,
the network from our side or something wrong somewhere.
Right.
Yes, because I had a direct call, somebody was calling, that's why. You get me now? Okay, I think
right,
those are the two major comments I have.
Right.
And I know, just like what Andrew said, there was a tree planting in Kenya. So, but you said reports are coming. So we encourage those people who have not reported yet for them to be able to report, because we are going to send a copy of this report to the UNI, so that they synchronize all this together at the end of the day. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Yes, no, I have noted with Sierra Leone, it is appearing twice. So I will actually go and make sure that the other, because if the company, I might not have mentioned it specifically by the name of the coordinator just to save time, but Sierra Leone is there twice. So definitely that is recorded, it is on the system. And then, okay, we will separate the address and the coordinates, and that will actually encourage people to actually put in the coordinates, because currently they are together. Thanks, Prince Andrew. And like all the other people who have not submitted, but who did the tree planting, I had asked Madam Jane, the Continental Secretary General, to help with the follow-ups. She is, yes, we are busy chasing people to please submit the information on the link, because what had happened, people had initially sent through photos and information via WhatsApp. So we now trying to push them back to the link, in order for us to have a comprehensive report. Dr. Carlos, can you please maybe use a different phone or ask someone else to do the attachment for you, or anyone else might be struggling, because quite a few people have been able to attach the images. It could be maybe the phone. Yeah, maybe let's see how that goes, please. Okay.
Noted. Noted.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for the input. If there's nothing else, and as Dr. Carlos said, we'll put together the comprehensive report, and then within UNI, this will actually be part of the planning for next year tree planting ceremony. And I think we'll be able to provide adequate support and more strategic planning and everything else that people mentioned to make it more impactful. But it is actually important to say, well done to the countries that did the report. And I believe that it's actually gone higher. It's now on a higher level, and we just need to build on that momentum. Okay, Professor Lloyd, I don't know if you need to say anything on that, and then while we prepare for Jean-Baptiste to present.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, I wanted to thank everybody that did plant a tree this year. This was besides the first tree planting that Carlos did back in 2020, this was actually really the first time we've done anything of this magnitude. And so I want to thank Carlos for continuing this effort in Africa, and everybody in all those countries that did plant the trees this year. This was sort of our first trial balloon on doing this as a globally coordinated tree planting event. And I'm hoping that next year, in a way, because we had our original plan to plant the Tree of Peace here in the city of Markham, with the city of Markham and the INAP collaborative partners here, that was postponed till next year. So hopefully next year, when we plant with the city, it will be a much more, an event with much more fanfare, let's say, where we'll get the mayor of the cities of Markham and others. Hopefully we'll get a lot more exposure and media exposure, especially in mainstream media. That's where we want to take this as well.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Yes, I think as we can only build the momentum from here on.
We have two hands up.
Okay.
Two people are there.
Yes, please.
3 hands now.
Go ahead. Let me just see. Sorry, I was using the other gadget for the presentation. So
we have Ayodele and we have Andrew.
Okay.
Also.
All right. Can we start with Prince Andrew, please? And then.
No, I'll defer to Ayodele.
Okay. Go ahead, Bishop. Welcome, and go ahead, please.
Okay. Thank you for the presentation, and thank you, Madam Juliet, for some of the job you have done concerning the collation of the report through the Google of the tree plantations. Though I saw only report from Malaika from Jaffa, but for us, we planted a tree in the name of UnityNet in my area, not in the name of any other organization, which is 30 tree plantation. I think I first sent my report before Malaika was able to come out with his own report. So we should take note of that, I Jaffa that planted tree. So we planted, which I posted. Then I want to suggest that we should, I think our preparation either for next year tree plantation or continuation of the tree plantation should begin with immediate effect. Possibly, we advise that if possible, let a committee be appointed that will be in charge of tree plantation instead of leaving it to the hand of the project directors and the team alone, because if not, because we have to take individual effort. So the project it will have been failed in each area. So I think it is good if we can set up a committee that will work on the issue of this tree plantation, and also that we monitor the activities when it is time for it. So that is what I want to suggest for now.
Okay, that is well noted. And on the first part that you raised, I think I did state earlier on that my report, because I still have to report next week when everyone else would have submitted. Yes, I gave a summation, but I do recognize the fact that we had more than one planting in Uganda, but that will be clarified in next week's report. And yeah, by that time, everyone else would have submitted. That also applies to Sierra Leone as well. Can you please put the recommendation of the committee on the link, please, Bishop Ayodele, so that those recommendations are actually forwarded and then they can be followed with action plans. Thank you. I see.
Can I say something in relation to the recommendation? Okay, for me,
then,
first of all,
Professor Lloyd can then talk after you, and then I guess these are 2 points of interjection, and then we'll continue again with Prince Andrew. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yes, I do want to make note that we're almost at 10 o'clock. It's been an hour and we have presentations, so please keep it short for the sake of time. Thank you.
Okay, so quickly, I recommend that the recommendation from AHIABGA, we can also have that discussion on Friday to look at it. But what I want to say here is we've been having a lot of committees, groups, and all these ones. And so people are beginning to become tired with so many subcommittees. So we have to think about creating a new committee. And then the other one, the final one, is by programming. Those who are in the program side, they are responsible, they are charged. It is their responsibility to oversee all program planning and program implementation. That is a system that is there. So you don't take it from them, because if you take it from them, then there's a conflict of interest for any other subcommittee that you want to create. So it's their responsibility. It's because some people feel their responsibility. That was why you saw that gap. So, but the gap is filled and we have the trees planted and then we have reports. Thank you.
Okay. Well noted. Yeah, it can be raised on Friday, but I also suggest that it goes into the link as well. Professor Lloyd, if it's a point of interjection.
Yes, so what we did, you will notice that we submitted on behalf of UnityNet GTA. It wasn't a country chapter that did our tree planting. So the way although we are creating these country chapters, we actually are intending to do regional chapters eventually. So this will likely only happen to have so many regional chapters around the world, especially even as across Africa, until we really have something in place for that Interchange for Peace, the VCN, to help coordinate all of these local or regional chapters, as we call them. And the other point I wanted to make as well was that we do have a discussion group for the tree plantings that was intended to that could become a committee, for instance. So I'm putting that into the chat, the link to this discussion group that is actually created last September. So there is a discussion around how to coordinate and create guidelines, for instance, for the tree planting. So that group has existed for quite a long time. And so that is in the chat with the link to the discussion on that Unity, what we call Unity Tree of Peace and Reconciliation tree planting. So if we want to move forward and create a new committee, that's there.
All right. Okay. No, I agree for continuity's sake. Okay. No, thank you. Prince Andrew, please go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, just a housekeeping note. Because we are streaming now, I will in fact stop the recording and start the recording before each presentation. So when I do start, you'll need Juliet to just do a brief intro so that our audience will know which presentation they're being shown. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. And we are on standby for the presentation by Mr. Baptiste, Jean-Baptiste. So I did forward it to Queen Nina, because like last week we had.
Yes, I have it, so we can move on with the presentation. I have it all ready to go. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mr. Jean, good evening.
Yes.
Again,
1 second.
Again, let me stop recording and then we'll start recording. And then Juliet, you need to introduce this topic and then the person needs to introduce themselves.
Okay.
I'm going to stop recording now.
Yes, yeah, please give me a second before you start.
Yes.
1 second, Mr. Baptiste. Please, 1 second.
Yes, nous sommes présents. You can be the first.
No.
Congo Jean-Baptiste.
Yes, I was saying, can you hold on? But Queen Mother, can you please introduce the title of the presentation? It's taking too long to download. Can you introduce as we start recording? Mr. Baptiste, just 1 second, we'll introduce you and then you can start, please. Just give us a minute. Yeah. All right.
Yes. Bonjour.
Yes.
Good morning.
Bonjour. Can you just give us a second to introduce you, please?
The second, yes, no wrong.
All right.
You can be the second, no wrong. Yeah.
Tell me when to start recording again, please.
Andrew, please wait.
1 second. Hello. Welcome to UnityNet, and you can start recording, Andrew.
Well, just a moment, please. Just a moment, please. Recording is in progress.
Hello, welcome to UnityNet Africa and Diaspora. My name is Queen Nina Womack, and I am one of the board members for UnityNet Africa and Diaspora. Today, we are going to have an excellent presentation on food security that will be facilitated by Jean-Baptiste from Guinea. So let me share his presentation.
From DRC.
Oh, sorry, from the DRC. 1 moment. From the DRC. Congo. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much
pour la parole nous accordée.
for giving us the floor.
D'abord, nous nous excusons parce que la connexion ici chez nous vraiment complique.
Firstly, we say sorry for the connection, which was not good for us last Friday.
Distingués invités,
All guests,
à vos titres et qualités respectifs, bonjour.
for all your titles, say good morning.
Nous remercions notre comité continental de UnityNet,
We say thank you for our community
Afrique,
in Africa
de nous avoir accordé l'espace pour parler des activités d'action sociale pour l'unité et le développement intégral.
For give others the place to present the actual social action.
Et le présent projet,
This present project,
dont le titre est l'insertion socio-économique de jeunes,
but the title is for social the work,
désœuvrés aux métiers entrepreneuriaux
for people who have just do that called entrepreneurial,
et encadrement des enfants défamiliarisés.
and to take care of our children.
Les zones d'intervention du projet
The area for this project,
sont les territoires de Walungu,
the territory of Walungu,
les territoires de Kalehe
the territory of Kalehe,
et la ville de Bukavu dans la province du Sud Kivu en RDC.
and the Bukavu town in DRC.
La durée du projet,
The time of the period of this project,
la durée du projet est de 2 ans.
it should have 2 years.
Les bénéficiaires directs, c'est 1200 personnes,
The beneficial direct will be
dont jeunes,
we have young
désœuvrés et enfants défamiliarisés.
and some children who have just been abandoned by their family.
Les bénéficiaires indirects,
The beneficial indirect,
c'est toute la population de la province du Sud Kivu.
all the people in South Kivu in DRC.
Nous descendons sur la page suivante,
In the following page,
sur la problématique.
in which you can have now our problem.
Sur la problématique. Descendons sur la page suivante.
Another page,
Another page, please.
another page.
OK.
Yeah.
La problématique.
The problem.
Les multiples guerres qui ont endeuillé la République démocratique du Congo,
The multiple war that have been broken the Democratic Republic of Congo,
en particulier,
in general,
ont causé la pauvreté,
in particular, have caused the poverty,
le chômage,
in employment,
la haine,
hate,
l'exode rural des jeunes
the rural exodus of young
et
people,
plusieurs violences dont les conséquences néfastes sont encore visibles jusqu'aujourd'hui dans la société.
and several from the violence and harm consequences which are still visible until today.
Les jeunes vulnérables qui n'ont pas étudié
And vulnerable young people who have not had the chance to study
et qui proviennent de familles pauvres restent dans une situation critique et de marginalisation.
and who come from the poor family remain in the critical and the marginalized situation.
Ceux qui ont eu la chance d'étudier après leurs études restent sans emploi
Those who have just finished they have just finished their studies
et ont besoin d'un soutien pour entreprendre afin de subvenir à leurs besoins et contribuer au développement durable.
but they need to work themselves and contribute for the safety of development.
Les jeunes filles, garçons et enfants
Young girls and boys, children
se livrent à la délinquance,
indulge in delinquence,
la toxicomanie,
drugs,
etc.
and so on.
Ils sont obligés de se lancer sur le marché d'emploi
They are focused to enter to the job market
où ils se font exploiter dans de grands travaux de portefeuille,
where they are exploited in the heavy doors work
comme creuser dans les mines illégales,
as a dig in a little minions,
comme nettoyer ou garder des voitures et motos en milieu urbain,
as cleaners and getting on the bicycle
comme vendeur d'eau glacée, etc.
and against water and sellers
D'autres enfants se livrent à l'alcool,
and so on, and other children,
au tabac,
alcohols and tabacs,
à la prostitution, s'exposant ainsi aux maladies sexuellement transmissibles
and the prostitutes and exposing themselves to sexual
Et à des
transmissions,
grossesses.
disease, and the pregnancy,
et à des grossesses indésirables.
the pregnancy.
L'enfant et les jeunes
The children and the young people
qui se lancent dans l'entrepreneuriat
who must be freed from the future of,
restent limités par les moyens.
they've been stopped by the lack of need.
Et d'autres ont des talents,
And some of them,
des vocations
they have some actions
qui,
and
une fois
vocations.
encadrés, serviront notre société.
If they are big protein, they can help our society.
Si vous regardez cette image,
If you can see that image,
la photo ici, c'était la journée internationale
it was the picture which we have been taken for the for the day of for the of work
du travail en RDC,
in DRC.
où les jeunes de la société civile,
For the young of civil society,
par manque d'emploi,
for the lack of job,
ils sont entrés dans la route
you have decided to get on the road
pour revendiquer le travail.
to ask how to find a job.
Vous allez voir la photo ici en bas.
You can see the second page.
Ce sont des enfants
Those are the children
de la rue
for the road.
qui vagabondent partout dans la rue.
They are just walking everywhere on the road.
Notre objectif principal,
Our principal object,
l'objectif principal est d'améliorer les conditions de vie socio-économiques et culturelles des jeunes.
The general objective is improvement of the social, economics, and cultural living in
et le
conditions
bien-être des enfants dans les territoires de Walungu.
of young people and the living in Walungu.
Notre projet poursuit des objectifs spécifiques dont voici.
I think that we have some project which we can see now.
La page en haut.
Up the page up.
La page en haut.
Yeah.
Les lutter contre le chômage des jeunes.
We want to find a job for young.
Et anti-valeurs.
And to root out something which is not important.
Accompagner et former les jeunes par des activités de métiers entrepreneuriales.
To help young for doing their own job.
Protection de l'environnement et des écosystèmes.
And to protect the environment.
Les activités principales,
the principal activities
des présents projets,
this present project,
c'est la protection de l'environnement.
To protect the environment.
Et pour la protection de l'environnement par la substitution d'utilisation des bois de chauffage.
For environment is only first to protect that.
Pour la cuisson de la nourriture,
for cooking,
et l'utilisation d'une méthode améliorée de biogaz.
And to use other things which can be important than to use that to call firewood.
Ici de la transformation des déchets recyclables.
But to transform,
telle que la matière fécale,
with some things which can help us.
L'initiation des jeunes à l'entrepreneuriat.
For entrepreneurial.
Pour l'initiation des jeunes à l'entrepreneuriat.
But we would like all young for entrepreneurship.
Nous allons entreprendre les jeunes.
We have to teach young
à l'agriculture,
agriculture,
par la culture des légumes,
for that's called now vegetables,
maïs,
to have now some geese,
et élevage des volailles,
and to keep now some animals.
La promotion des talents et potentiels culturels,
but some acts which are very important,
tels que l'installation des 3 centres culturels de jeunes.
But to have now some centers which can help young to develop.
Pour la première activité de la protection de l'environnement,
first environment impact.
Dans le souci de promouvoir tant soit peu la protection de l'environnement,
as we want to protect the environment
et de l'écosystème contre les conséquences dues à l'usage courant,
because we can find a lot of problems if we do not want to protect the environment,
de la nature par l'homme,
for the natural like the human.
AHIABGA va initier les jeunes aux activités à impact visible.
AHIABGA wants to bring all young,
favorisant l'environnement préventif,
to protect firstly the environment,
pour les générations à venir,
for the future generation,
et donnant l'emploi durable aux jeunes.
And to give a job for the young.
Réduire l'utilisation des bois de chauffage.
But we want to reduce the use of firewood.
Et les braises qui conduit à la déforestation abusive dans les territoires de
Which
Walungu.
bring people to destroy some forest in Walungu.
Et favorisant les coupes illégales d'arbres.
And the people are just cut down some trees.
Et qui expose aux jeunes filles aux violences à la recherche de bois de chauffage.
Which is a way to bring the girls to have that call now to be raped.
Nous allons sensibiliser la population sur l'utilisation de la méthode de cuisson par le biogaz.
We have to sensibilize people to use other things.
Les matières fécales humaines.
For cooking, for example, to have that called something from the breast.
Et animal.
From animals or from human.
Distribuer ensuite les déchets de biogaz en engrais aux jeunes agriculteurs.
To distribute some things for young.
De la city.
Of city.
Si vous regardez cette image ici,
if you can see that image there,
ça ce sont des cuissons à foyer améliorés.
That we call for the kitchen for young from USAID.
Produit par les jeunes entrepreneurs de la city.
Which had been produced by the young youth or young from ICD.
Alors AHIABGA va initier les jeunes.
But AHIABGA tried now to tell the young
comment produire les boules.
how to produce something which can help a population,
et des tourbes
and some tool
à travers l'argile
with argile,
et les déchets agricoles
with some things which can be from the plains
pour prendre la place des braises
to replace the firewood,
afin de réduire la pression sur l'environnement.
to reduce something which can destroy the environment.
Quels sont les résultats attendus
Now the results which we found
sur ce projet de la protection de l'environnement?
for this project or for the environment,
Mais avant de parler des résultats attendus,
before speaking about that result,
si nous pouvons monter sur l'image là en haut,
if you can return back for the first image,
vous allez voir,
you can see
ici c'est le lac Kivu.
that you call on the side that you call the Lake Kivu.
On jette les déchets partout dans la ville de Bukavu.
Everywhere in Bukavu town, you can find something like those images there.
Et ces déchets plastiques
And those plastic
rend sale la ville
destroys the town,
et même le lac Kivu,
even if the Lake Kivu,
qui devrait donner la beauté de la ville de Bukavu.
which can give now the beautiful town the image.
Et ceci endommage sensiblement l'environnement,
And those just to destroy the environment
bouche les caniveaux de conduite
and
d'eau,
try not to destroy a lot of things in Bukavu town.
pollue les lacs Kivu
Also around Lake Kivu,
et même impacte la santé des hommes.
even if for the wealth of the human being.
Ce projet va accompagner les jeunes de la CIDI à ramasser,
This project is going now to lead the young of RCD to pick up,
collecter
to collect
les déchets plastiques
all those plastic
qui rendent la ville sale
which have just to destroy the town
et de les transformer
and to transform those
en pavés.
to have now something,
Et ces pavés-là vont permettre à la construction.
and the things will help us to build something,
Ainsi, cela
and
aura comme résultat attendu,
we have now some results.
les résultats attendus de cette
The
activité.
result now,
Nous pouvons descendre sur la page suivante.
we can go now down now. The result now,
Les résultats attendus sont
the results,
réduction du degré de déforestation jusqu'à 40%
No.
dans 5 ans.
we're going now to reduce the destroyment of the environment in 40%.
La réduction de l'insalubrité et la dégradation du sol par le plastique
We are now to reduce now the result of the destroying of the plastic,
et les sachets.
and that's called now the rubber.
Plus de 200 hectares
More than 2,000
seront de nouveau labourés par les membres de la cité.
the members of RCD go now to transform a lot of things.
Il y aura production d'une énergie contrôlable et permanente.
We have now electricity which will be controlled by RCD.
Il y aura réduction des dépenses de bois d'énergie réalisées par les ménages.
We're going now to reduce something about that called now for the home,
Pour l'acquisition de l'énergie de cuisson,
to have now some energy,
d'éclairage
to have now the lights,
et pour ces services administratifs.
which can help now some administration.
Il y aura création d'emplois des jeunes
We're going now to create the job for the young men
et la production d'engrais organiques.
and to produce now the need,
Réduire les émissions liées à la combustion du bois
and to reduce now something which can be destroyed now some trees in the forest
et leurs conséquences sur les détenus et l'environnement.
and their consequences for the environment.
Dans le cas, si nous pouvons descendre sur l'activité suivante,
If we can now follow another page,
page suivante,
another
please.
page, the following page, please.
L'entrepreneuriat agricole.
Entrepreneurial.
Page suivante, please.
The following page.
Queen Mother, please go to the next slide.
Oui.
Yeah.
Page suivante,
The following page, please.
entrepreneuriat.
Entrepreneurial.
L'entrepreneuriat agricole. Entrepreneuriat.
Result now.
Page suivante,
Result.
les résultats attendus.
Now the results,
Les résultats attendus sont donc
the results are
réduction du degré de déforestation
reducing of degradation of deforestation
à 40% dans 5 ans.
by up to 40% in 5 years.
Réduction de l'insalubrité et de la dégradation du sol
Reduction of emissions on the conditional
par les plastiques et les sachets.
degradation of by the plastic and the bags.
Plus de 200 hectares
More than 2,000 hectares
seront de nouveau labourés par les membres.
will be brought again by the members.
Production de l'énergie contrôlable,
Production of control and permanent energy,
réduction des dépenses des bois d'énergie
reduction of the depense of energy,
réalisée par les ménages pour l'acquisition de l'énergie des cuissons.
acquisition for energy for the cooking, lighting, and for the admission service.
D'éclairage et pour ses services administratifs. Création de l'emploi des jeunes
Creation of young employment
et la production d'engrais organiques.
and the production of organic.
Réduire les émissions liées à la combustion du bois et leurs conséquences sur les techniques de l'environnement.
Reduce emission from burning wood and their impact on the prison and the environment.
Bref, garantir une économie durable et inclusive.
In short, graduate a stable and distributed economy.
Page suivante.
And the following page,
please.
the following page, please.
L'entrepreneuriat.
Entrepreneurship.
Dans le cadre de contribuer à une jeunesse utile
For helping now the young people
et économiquement autonome,
in economic, they can be themselves to their needs themselves.
ce projet prévoit d'accompagner et initier les jeunes désœuvrés dans leurs activités
This
entrepreneuriales
project want to help young to progress in their development themselves
à travers l'activité de l'agriculture.
According to the agriculture.
Nous encadrons les jeunes dans la culture des légumes
We help donc young to develop themselves in vegetables
tels que les amarantes,
that you can have now something like cabbage,
les courges,
squash,
les ignames,
that's called now a marachief,
les tomates
tomatoes,
et la culture de maïs
and now some culture of maize
pour réduire la faim,
to reduce the end
et approvisionner les consommateurs de la ville de Bukavu,
and to help the people in Bukavu town,
notamment les ménages,
firstly some house,
les restaurants,
some restaurants,
les hôtels,
some hotel,
etc.
and so on.
Et très bientôt,
And soon,
c'est des pays de la région des Grands Lacs.
we're going to help now the range of all countries in Africa.
Mais nos productions sont limitées.
But some production are limited.
C'est ainsi pour accompagner ces jeunes agriculteurs.
We've decided to do those things to help those young who have decided to culture.
Ce projet prévoit d'installer une maison de pro-venderie.
But this project prevents to have now the place in which we're going to now to exchange our things which we've done, pick up on our sheaves.
Cette maison de pro-venderie,
this house
va permettre
will help
à l'acquisition
to receive
des produits phytothérapeutiques
some production
aux jeunes agriculteurs de la CIDI.
For the young of the RCD.
Mais également, ça va permettre à l'écoulement
and it's going to help now
des produits agricoles.
To consume now the production of agricultural production.
Ainsi, pour réussir cette activité,
and therefore succeed this activity,
il faudra un chat.
It needed to have now a field.
L'installation de 2 chats pilotes d'apprentissage.
We have now 2 fields which will help young to practice
et de production collective.
And to produce something which can help them.
Constitution de groupes solidaires de jeunes.
But we have just not the group of the young which will work
autour d'une culture
around the culture
afin d'une production à grande échelle.
And to have now a production which can be very important.
Pour l'activité de l'élevage,
for the branding,
le secteur de l'élevage et des volailles,
for the branding,
est un domaine prometteur.
It is a domain which can help us,
présentant des potentiels économiques
which
énormes,
can help now our economy,
mais non encore exploités par un grand nombre de la population du Sud Kivu.
which is not never be exploited by many people in Bukavu town.
Cet état des choses attirera l'attention de la CIDI qui initia des projets de développement durable impliquant les jeunes.
And those things I think that will help the young if only we try to interest the young to participate
des territoires de Walungu, Calais,
in territory of Calais and Walungu,
en vue de leur insertion socio-économique
for helping them
et garantir leur autonomie économique.
and themselves that they can be free in economy.
Et ce projet prévoit
These projects
l'installation de 2 poulaillers
help us to want now 2 hen house
dans les 2 territoires cibles Walungu et Calais.
in 2 territories.
Sensibilisation de la communauté
We try to sensibilize now the
sur
community
ces projets,
according to these projects
donner des dons de crédits rotatifs pastoraux de poules,
and to rent them something like a hen, the hens,
aux cibles pour l'élevage domestique.
to keep them and reply for their head.
Disponibilisation des médecins vétérinaires
And I now some people will going to take care for those animals
pour accompagner ces jeunes éleveurs.
and help those young.
Quels sont les résultats attendus?
Now, some results according to this project:
Insertion socio-économique des jeunes
Socio-économique.
développeurs ciblés par les projets,
socioeconomic integration of employed young people,
la réduction du chômage et vagabondage
reduction
des jeunes,
of hunger and malnutrition,
autonomisation des jeunes désœuvrés ciblés par les présents projets.
reducing employment and the vegetables of young people.
Page suivante.
The following page. Yeah.
Ok, yeah, merci. L'installation de 3 centres culturels de promotion des talents chez les jeunes.
Yeah, we would like now to have now 3 centers for taking care of the archer of this young.
L'Afrique en général et la RDC en particulier
Africa in general and in particular DRC
ont leur manière de communication,
they have learned manner of passing the message
de culture
in cultures
et de sport.
and in sport.
Les jeunes ont des potentialités talentueuses
The young have their actors
qui devaient être encadrées.
which can be now taking care
Les danses
dance,
congolaises,
Congolese dance,
poèmes,
poem,
musique,
music,
football
football,
et formés.
and the farmers.
Ils ont ses propres rêves.
They have their own dreams,
Et certains par manque de coaching,
but when they have that lack of coaching,
mère de pauvreté,
they have decided now to forsake their way.
pourtant ils seraient bénéfiques à toute la nation.
But they will be prophets if
Les jeunes pauvres ruraux,
some young who are living in the foreign countries,
artistes,
manquent
un lieu public
they have no place to expose their experience,
pour exposer leurs talents et des matériels.
to present their wills.
Si vous regardez cette image,
If you can see that image there,
vous allez voir une femme et un homme.
you can see a man and a woman.
Vous allez voir une femme et un homme.
You can see now a woman
Okay.
and yeah.
C'était un théâtre
It was now the stretch,
que les jeunes de la CIDI
the young of CD,
jouaient pour exposer
they have decided now to
la
show
marginalisation, la marginalisation des femmes
how the woman is being
dans leur foyer.
threatened in her family.
Et l'autre image là-bas,
They said, at the side, another image,
ce sont les jeunes de la CIDI
the young of ICD
qui jouent de musique
who are playing the music
nationaux.
national.
Nous allons, à travers ce projet pour les centres culturels,
For the Centre Cultural Center,
nous voulons installer 3 centres.
would like to have now only 3 centers
À Kabare, à Calais,
in Calais,
Walungu
in Walungu,
et dans la ville de Bukavu.
and in Bukavu town,
Dans le but
with the one object
de la prévention des problèmes de santé mentale des jeunes,
to having now to protect now that you call psychologically,
parce que les jeunes, parce que par manque d'emploi,
By the lack of job,
ils sont traumatisés
young are still now struggling themselves.
et nécessitent un centre culturel
But would like to have now a center
pour la détraumatisation,
for having the time to discuss more with young,
mais aussi créer des relations
but to turn out to have another relationship
avec les jeunes
with the young
et enfants d'autres pays.
and with another country.
Si les résultats attendus,
Now some results.
les résultats attendus,
Now some results.
ok,
Yes, yeah.
il y aura réduction des vagabondages chez les jeunes dans les zones du projet.
Reduction of young vanishings,
Les talents des jeunes bénéficiaires seront encadrés.
the talents of the young beneficial supervised.
3 centres construits et équipés à la disposition de la jeunesse.
3 centers built and equipment and at the disposal of the young.
Et la culture des jeunes sera valorisée.
And the culture of young will be favorized.
Et ainsi, le vagabondage sera diminué.
And I feel that there we try now to protect more the young.
À la page suivante,
The following page.
si l'activité, ok,
Yeah, there.
ok, thank you.
Thank you.
Si cette activité pour l'assistance judiciaire et juridique des enfants défamiliarisés.
For the judicial and the legal assistance for the entrepreneurial
Dans notre société,
in our society,
il s'observe particulièrement
we've just observed
dans les territoires de Walungu,
in Walloon territory
Kalehe
and Calais,
et dans notre ville de Bukavu,
in the Bukavu town,
un phénomène de délinquance infantile.
that we've just got a lot of people who have just struggled themselves
Dû
wandering
à
in Bukavu town
dit à un niveau bas des familles
and in their family,
et des enfants abandonnés qui malheureusement ne peuvent pas prendre en charge leur procès
and the children have just been abandoned with their family.
quand ils sont mis en cause.
But when they have been caused,
Pour lutter contre ces phénomènes d'enfants de la rue et abandonnés,
for looking how to take care of all these children,
ces projets
this project
cherchent
is looking
à disponibiliser un nombre d'avocats,
to have now some judge
pour assister les enfants et défendre leurs droits.
to assist down the children and their rights.
Sensibiliser les ménages sur les droits des enfants.
To sensibilize now the children's rights.
Assister les enfants en difficulté.
To assist now the children they are in their difficulty.
Et réintégrer ces enfants abandonnés.
And to show now the children now another way.
De la rue dans leurs familles respectives.
And to bring them in their family.
Assidi reste limité car il a un seul conseiller juridique.
ACD is now be blocked because they have only one can help them.
Un seul maître avocat.
And one judge.
Qui ne permet pas d'assister tous les enfants.
And he is unable to assist all children
en difficulté.
Which are in difficulty.
À travers ces projets,
as this project,
nous attendons les résultats suivants.
The results like this.
Les droits des enfants seront garantis dans les zones cibles.
Children's rights will be graduated.
70% d'enfants de la rue et abandonnés de la zone du projet rejoindront leurs familles respectives.
70% of strict and abandoned children in their project area will join their respective family.
Disponibilité d'un réseau de défenseurs juridiques humanistes.
Availability of the network of humanities, legal,
et des droits des enfants.
And defending the children's rights.
Si vous regardez cette image-là encerclée,
if you can see now those image there,
l'image encerclée,
the image there, if you can see them, the image.
Ce sont les enfants de la CIDI que nous encadrons.
Those are the children of ACD.
Ok, ici, ce sont les enfants de la CIDI que nous encadrons.
Those are children of ACD that we have just taking care of them.
Nous n'avons pas eu l'occasion de balancer toutes les images des enfants.
We didn't have the time to send all the message of the children.
Mais cette image-là montre comment est-ce que nous pouvons encadrer les enfants.
But this image there show us how we can take care of those children.
Dans ces projets.
In this project.
Ainsi, nous disons merci.
And then we say thank you.
Pour ce temps nous accordé.
For this time which you have decided to give us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you, Jean-Baptiste, for this great presentation. We appreciate the work that you're doing. That is
Yes.
outstanding. Outstanding.
Yes. 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 Yeah. Yeah.
So now, do we have any questions from anybody in the audience that would like to, or any comments about their work?
Yes, yeah, Queen Mother, yes, I have a contribution and also a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Merci. Thank you.
Queen Mother, can I go ahead? Yes.
Yes, please do, Professor Carlos.
All right, okay, thank you so much. First of all, I want to thank you so much, Mr. John Baptiste and your team.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
This is a wonderful presentation, and keep doing this and keep bringing others in DRC to be able to utilize this platform to showcase what they can do, their ability, so that we all can join to liberate DRC. This is wonderful. My question is, I don't know, maybe if I got you right. I don't want to say it in French, please. I want to know if you said the issue of the waste management. I saw the plastics where the children they are collecting plastics, etc. You saying your project is going to levy the responsibility to the children to be collecting waste plastics from what I've seen, or what? What's the alternative? The last one is this one goes to also to Lloyd, that how can we help have a common synergy in Africa? Remember, there was somebody that shared with us a machine that uses waste management to transform it into blocks, concrete blocks and all these ones. And so how can we use that technology in Africa to make use of the waste management in a better economic system? Thank you.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. A demandé maintenant comment est-ce que c'est les enfants qui vont ramasser maintenant ce plastique. Oui, merci beaucoup. Ce sont là des jeunes. Par rapport à la première question, for the first question, ACD a des jeunes. We have some young désœuvrés. They do not have a job. Des jeunes adultes désœuvrés. But we have adults qui seront chargés. But they will be there pour la collecte. To collect de ces déchets, those plastics, et leur transformation. And to be transformed. Ce ne sont pas les enfants. It's not the children. Les enfants sont protégés. But we want now to protect the children. Nous défendons leurs droits. And we have decided now to defend their rights. Et ces enfants ne peuvent pas être utilisés pour le ramassage. And those children, I think that they cannot be used to gathering the plastic. Mais ce sont les jeunes de la city. But we have now some youngs, les jeunes qui n'ont pas d'emploi, they do not have a job, et qui demandent de l'accompagnement. But they need someone to help them for the job. Pour les machines, for the machine, nous n'avons pas de machine. We do not have the machine. Nous faisons seulement les ramassages, but we decide only to pick up those plastics, de ces déchets, those plastics. Mais à travers ces projets, but from this project, nous cherchons l'accompagnement. We look for that some people can help us pour trouver la machine, to find out the machine pour la transformation de ces déchets en pâte. To transform now those plastic. Nous cherchons la machine. We are looking for the machine, mais nous n'avons pas encore la machine. For the moment, we do not have the machine. Et cela réduira. And I think that can reduce les déchets partout dans la ville de Bukavu. The plastic in Bukavu town.
permettra à une ville propre.
And the town will become, I think that's visible and it can be very interesting for other people. But I think that it will be the young who have not a job, who are going now to work and to work harder for pick up all those plastic, and they can be very important, I think.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your reply. Are there any more questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Lloyd. Go right ahead.
Yeah, so I guess Carlos did mention my name when he asked the question, and was basically how do we get those transformations of the waste into something value added. What I wanted to mention was there is a part of the reason that we are interacting and promoting those Wheel of Life farms as a possible solution for the Unity Garden learning centers is because the person who had developed that system is actually a waste management expert from the USA, currently living in Vietnam, but they are one of the people in our network who have much of this knowledge regarding waste transformation into value-added products. And so I think I see very good alignment with what Baptiste has presented to us with the concept of the Unity Garden Learning Center. And so hopefully we can establish in collaboration with Jean-Baptiste a Unity Garden, the first one in DRC, eventually, potentially also demonstrating those waste transformation solutions. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Professor Carlos.
Yeah, I think this is a good idea. So I really love this synergy because the issue of waste management concern is a serious problem in Africa. If UnityNet, Africa and Diaspora, or maybe UNI can have a system wherein we can, like what Lloyd mentioned, the expertise of that particular gentleman can help transform the system of waste management system in Africa into, since we are moving to smart cities or smart towns. And so this is very good. And so I really want to have this discussion with you, Lloyd, after this, so that we can have a headway around it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Carlos. And also, you know, being a food activist here in Los Angeles, California, I have been dealing with food waste every week since 2018. So I think that's about 4 or 5 years. I'm very familiar and very knowledgeable about anaerobic digesters is what they're called. I do have identified several vendors in the US as well as in India that make those machines, and I'm currently writing a grant for the machines. So to be able to pilot the waste management machine here in Los Angeles and take it to Africa. So anyway, on that note, we are going to move, if there are no other questions, into our next presentation. Apparently, Juliet has had electrical problems, and so she is offline. The only other presentation was my presentation, which I told you I was not prepared to do the plastics presentation. So, but I did want to say a few words. And the few words that I would like to share with everybody.
Wait, hold it. Before you share, let me stop recording and start recording just a second.
Okay.
Recording is in progress. Please give us an introduction. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Queen Mother Nina Womack. I am the UnityNet Africa and Diaspora board member consultant. I'm also the president of the Ghana chapter of UnityNet Africa and Diaspora. And I also run a natural health and wellness and food security program here in Los Angeles, California, called Let's Be Whole. We have been delivering free food to the community every week since 2018, come rain or come shine. So I am a food justice activist and actively, not talking about it, but actively serving our community by recovering food and distributing it to the people. I am in the process of creating a global food systems program that can be expanded from Los Angeles into Africa, very knowledgeable about food waste management and things of that nature. What I would like to say, which is critical right now on June 2022, is that due to the Russian and Ukraine war, we are now moving into an emergency global food crisis. And I am very thankful that I have spent the last 5 years in this food recovery space and food security space. So I just want to encourage everyone to start being proactive and growing your own food. I am rolling out some agricultural education programs here in Los Angeles, as well as in different countries in Africa, working with farmers right now to roll out major mass food production. So I would encourage everyone, this is not a joke, this is not a game, this is serious. And we have to identify where are all of our food resources. Where can we get food from food pantries, such as like my organization? Where can we grow our own food? How can we secure land? How, what staple products do we need? This is no joke. So it's an emergency, and please take this seriously, or you and your family may be starving pretty soon. Thank you. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay,
so
we're
on
starting
that note, on that note,
yes,
I'm
please,
not sure.
Please proceed.
Yes, I'm not sure. I don't think we have any more presentations. So if we can have Prince Andrew say a couple of last words, followed by Professor Carlos, and we can wrap up.
Well, I see Carlos's hand raised, so I'll defer to him.
Okay. Professor Carlos?
Yes. So for me, I just want maybe from the general membership or maybe the participants here for us to look at this waste management system. It's very, very serious. It's affecting us in Africa. I know at global level is there. So what are the preferred solutions you think maybe you have been using in your country or in your community to ensure effective waste management system that also promotes a revolving economy in your society that maybe we can replicate or use in other parts of Africa that will help Africa, since we are almost like a dumping site.
Who were you addressing that to, Professor Carlos?
No, this is a general comment that goes to everyone. If anyone has a better idea as to how we can better manage waste, that will help,
there's
because
technology out there for waste management. Like I said a few minutes ago, I've identified several vendors that have the technology, but we just have to have the funding, which is why I'm in the process of writing a proposal to be able to get the funding to pilot these machines and bring them over to Africa. So the bottom line is it's going to take funding. That's it. The technology is there.
Yeah, that is great. That is true. That is true.
So there's nothing to figure out how can we, it's there. So it's just a matter of now getting the funding to get these machines.
Well, since Queen Moda, you are already taking the lead, especially in the States. You are there and you are developing the funding concepts now to see how you can replicate. We can replicate. Let me don't say you can. We can replicate it in Africa. That is a welcome idea. Yes, for UnityNet African Diaspora.
Yes.
Lloyd, yes.
Professor Lloyd. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I just wanted to mention the one thing that we have been promoting, of course, is the learning gardens, the Unity Gardens as learning centers, so that the African people themselves can know how to build these solutions themselves as well, not just use them. And so the opportunity for manufacturing these in Africa as well, I think, which is what the concept of entrepreneurship in the case we're looking at humanitarian entrepreneurship, education and training. The other thing is that I know there are many solutions out there. They do cost money. Oftentimes they also have patents. And whoever controls those patents wants to make money from selling them. We can use them, of course, if there is funding available, but the idea as well was to promote the open source solutions, the solutions that can be shared, the knowledge across our network, so that it's not just proprietary solutions where a company comes in and says, I want to make money by selling these to Africans. We'd like to set up a system where we're going to train the Africans in the development of many of these solutions and the manufacturing of these solutions themselves, and the deployment of these solutions themselves, using these open source concepts, which is why we want to work with these organizations like the EPWT I mentioned in the chat there, the Empowering the Poor through Waste Transformation, because they are looking at open source solutions. And so everything that we have been promoting has been open source rather than looking at commercial solutions only. Thank you.
Thank you, Lloyd. I agree and I disagree. I feel like we buy tractors right now. Everybody purchases equipment. I think to wait to get funding to develop a technology when a technology can be purchased right now as we speak to start reducing waste management, I think is like that would just prolong the food waste issue. And I think in the future, that could be a good idea, but I would not recommend waiting until there's an open source and have people in Africa build it themselves when we can just purchase it. Like
no, I'm not saying that we don't do both. I'm saying that based on our model is that we want to at the same time as we are helping to provide equipment from the commercial sector, we're also training people in the local communities to begin developing, not necessarily developing the solutions, because we're promoting solutions that exist already. People are already doing it, for instance, in Vietnam. So why don't we take that knowledge and transfer it to Africa? It's an open source solution that exists. And so that's what we're saying, is that we'd like to set up these education and training centers so that we can begin that process of educating and training the local people in those existing solutions. Well, we also can, if we're in an emergency, and I agree, We need this equipment from the commercial sector right now. Let's do it as well.
Exactly, exactly. And part of the grant proposal I've been writing are ancillary markets that could create jobs and so forth, because when you're processing this waste, there are plenty of value added products such as biofuels, and the list goes on that I have researched and included in the proposal as well. So there's plenty of jobs to be made from that, besides besides creating the machines. If we have the machine, there's jobs that can be created from the waste, the byproducts. Okay, Mohammed, you have a question or a comment?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
I am Mohammed Sankoh from Guinea. Thank you, everyone. This topic is very, very interesting. It is very, very important. Yeah, particularly Guinea here. This has been a problem for over decades. At the beginning of every rainy season, we have flooding all over streets. Water enters into houses, cause a lot of trouble due to this dumping of plastics and all other rubbish around. So it is key. It is causing a lot of diseases because there are mosquitoes breed and all other problems around it. So I really appreciate our brother from Congo who has Mr. Baptiste, who has presented a project about garbage collection. It is very, very important. Je vous apprécie très bien, Monsieur Jean-Baptiste. Moi, c'est Sankoh.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much.
Merci. Ouais.
Merci.
So actually, if we have a solution for this in Africa, that will help. It is a very big project for all over Africa. I think, I don't know all other countries, but where I'm living, it is a great problem. Government even has no control over it. For over 20 years I've been in Guinea, government has no full control over garbage collection. It is a problem. Some NGOs take over, but after some time, no result, no better result, because every year the same thing repeats. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much.
Merci.
Thank you. Now we will go on to Umar. Umar, you're up next.
Yes, good evening, good afternoon to all. And Madam Queen Mother, I realize that you raised the issue concerning food education and food management is very, very important, simply because looking at one aspect, which is the hotels, mostly people who went to hotel to eat, the rest of it is being waste to the extent that people are out there to use it. Initially in Ghana, there are some NGOs who used to go to hotels to take this kind of waste food for dogs and animals. But it's more than that. But we can do more by educating people concerning food waste. It's very, very important. And beside that, as I indicate, there's an NGO who normally do food waste for dogs. They go to hotel to take the rest of the food that is not being consumed to package it for the dogs. But there are more to that. There are more to that. We can do more. We need more education. We need more enlightenment so that we can we should not waste a lot of food. In fact, a lot of food are being wasted, not even in the developing country, but even in less developing country. So we need education to not waste food. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Umar. You are 100% right. And here in Los Angeles, here in California, rather, our state, we recently had some laws and policies passed that these restaurants and hospitals and food producers, whoever is producing food, it can no longer be thrown in the landfills or you will be fined. So you have to donate your food waste to organizations like the work that I'm doing. And I have had an increase of restaurants and grocery stores that have contacted my organization to come recover this food, which I'm currently doing. But what I would like to see happen is number one, let me just say I'm on the committee of our Los Angeles Good Food Policy Council, and that is a volunteer committee that has formed to work in partnership with the government to suggest policies, to suggest how this food could be allocated in food deserts, in underserved communities. And so I have sat on that committee for the past 3 years and very familiar with our laws and regulations and this new law that passed. So my intention, Umar, is to bring that knowledge, those policies, to our countries in Africa and get the ear of the government so they can also implement these type of policies, because California is doing great on food reduction right now with these laws. If the grocery stores and the restaurants and so forth know that they will be fined if they don't properly redistribute their food waste, that's what we need, those kind of policies in Africa as well. I think in Europe, if I'm not mistaken, in Europe, they have the same kind of policy. Any other last comments? We have about 8 more minutes to before we end this meeting.
Well, Queen Mother, I've noticed we had some new people join. I'm not sure if they want to introduce themselves or not, but we do have a few people that have recently joined.
Okay, great. Well, welcome to our Monday morning meeting of UnityNet Africa and Diaspora. If this is your first time here, please introduce yourself.
Hello, good evening from Sierra Leone. I'm Hamid Toure. Yes, just been brought in or shared this link by Professor Carlos to join in. My background is in public health, with over 15 years experience working in the field of public health with Helen Keller International, in the field of nutrition, food security, and health management. I'm happy to be part of this forum. I'm still learning and trying to understand what actually this is about, because I'm trying to understand, Africa synergy versus the diaspora seem to be a little broad-based. So trying to put all those complex questions together, but a little quiet for the time being. Thank you.
Thank you. We welcome you. Welcome. Thank you. And thanks for your work that you're doing in public health. Is there anyone else who would like to introduce themselves, please? All right, Professor Carlos.
Yeah, I just want to add to what Mr. Ahmed Toure just mentioned. Of course, he is the principal behind the orange flesh sweet potato transform or a value addition from the tuber itself to flour, to cake, to food for children, for babies, etc. So he's a very good asset, and he is a good example. He's my colleague. Thank you. Welcome, Mr. Ahmed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Carlos. And next we have Mr. Cisse. Sese?
She said, yes, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry,
no,
Miss. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was part of the meetings all this time while absent the whole of last month because I was busy work job. So I just came late. I just want to say I was part of these meetings or throughout, but I was meeting several times, like 4 meetings now. So I'm sorry about that. I just came back to the United States. Hello.
Thank you for that introduction. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, Professor Carlos, do you want to say some last words? We have 5 minutes left before we end the meeting.
Yeah, I want to thank everyone today. This is a wonderful meeting, big achievement. Of course, we learned a lot from this, and I want to encourage everyone, please come back next week. And as you're coming, don't come alone. Bring other people to learn from the process so that we will rebrand Africa. To remember, together as a team, we can do it. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Professor Carlos. And we will get our last comment from Prince Andrew before we sign off.
Well, thank you so much for attending. My comment is just to ask everyone to make sure your email address is in the chat. We will attempt to send out a recording in the chat to those whose emails we have. Even if you've been here before, please today put your email address there. Also in the chat, I put the link for a replay of today's session. If you want to copy that, you can share it with other groups and they can hear everything from the beginning. Thank you, Queen Mother. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. So this has been a great session. Again, you guys will hear me regularly encourage us to increase our food production to protect our communities from starvation. And so I look forward to those continued discussions as well as solutions. And everyone enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks from UnityNet, Africa and Diaspora. We will sign off now. So let's all say goodbye.
Okay, thank you too.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye, bye.